Hey guys, here at home eating McDonald's and sharing some french fries with my baby. Say hi. Oh my good. Um anyways, I was watching Dr. Phil today and it was this woman named I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, Shanesha, which is the mother that was in headlines, the media. I mean, she was everywhere. Um it was about her leaving her two children, her two sons, in a hot car while she ran in for an interview. And she was on Dr. Phil, okay? This was, I don't know, guess going over it or something like that. Whatever. I don't care. Anyway, she's on Dr. Phil's judging judging show. I say that because of, I mean, I'm sorry, this whole man's demeanor. Like, every time he talks to somebody, he just looks like he's judging you, you know? He always talks about how he's not, but just, I don't know. You know how you just kind of look, somebody just tell that that person is inside, like, deep inside themselves or judging you? Well, anyways, I was watching it, and, at first, I guess, it did make me a little upset because, I mean, you shouldn't leave your children in a hot car. But she started going over her story about that it was only supposed to be for a little while, and it was so that she can go into a job interview because she was homeless. Her and her sons were pretty much living in this hot car, and what really gets me is the fact that everybody is looking at this woman, and I noticed that a lot of the people who have something to say, or a lot of them are like a lot of men for some reason. There was a man who was like thrashing her. He was saying something about her on his show, and I don't know if it was like a YouTube show or something like that, but um, I mean, he was just saying all these terrible things about this woman that, oh, she just paid back the money and just terrible stuff. And it showed a clip of his video on Dr. Phil. Well, I'm thinking to myself, first of all, this man is never ever gonna know what it's like to be a single mother, ever, or even a mother at that. And I mean, it to me it gets me really mad is because a lot of people do not put themselves in her shoes. I mean, what would you do? You know, I'm a mother, right? And I have my other two kids from another marriage, okay? And for a while there, I kind of felt like a single mother because I was kind of raising them in the beginning, like, he was not always there all the time and everything. So I did pretty much anything I had to do, but that's a normal thing for a mother, right? You just do what you have to do. And I mean, I personally would never leave my children in a car, period. If I go in any place, anywhere, I take them down with me, or, keep them at home, have someone take care of them at home. But I say that to myself, but at the same time, I have never been in that situation she was in, being homeless, trying to find a job. And apparently, from what she says, is she did it because she was trying to get the interview. And I mean, what are you supposed to do? Take your kids into a job interview, say, hey, can you watch them for me? But nobody in this world, everyone wants to talk shit about what she did and all this stuff, but nobody wants to actually like put themselves in her shoes and try to understand why she did it. Like, you would probably do the same fucking shit if you were in her situation. That's what doesn't get me. Everybody wants to talk shit about everybody. Oh, how, everybody does their own parenting thing. Oh, well, they shouldn't do this and they shouldn't do that. Until you actually know what it's like to be her, then shut the fuck up. That's all I'm saying. I mean, that's what gets me mad. All these people want to talk shit about, oh, she did this, and she did this, and she did that. Now, I never condone, ever, to leaving your children in a hot car. I mean, don't do that. Don't do that, okay? Um, but, I mean, nobody ever stops to think, like, oh, if I was her, and if I was trying to get a job so that my kids would have something better, what would you do with your kids? I mean, it's not like she could fucking pull money out her ass and say, oh, here, let me put them in daycare. Or, oh, here, you take care of my babies for me and I'll pay you. I mean, most of the people that you try to ask to babysit your kids are going to automatically tell you, oh, well, I need money for it. But if she ain't got no goddamn money to give you, I mean, I don't get any of this. Nobody, and then Dr. Phil's up here talking about, saying all this fucking shit to her, like, and saying all these things, and it just it just gets to me. Nobody knows, like, nobody actually feels, and nobody knows what she was going through in that situation, going through in that moment. I mean, you do what you got to do, you know? And like I said, I don't condone leaving your children in a hot car. I don't. But nobody ever puts themselves in her shoes. Nobody ever says, you know what? I'm going to try to think to myself what I would have done in that situation. Because nobody looks at themselves and says, what would I do in that situation? No, they just go off rambling and talking shit and saying all these terrible things about her. I mean, some of you people are pathetic. That's the problem nowadays. That's the problem with people nowadays. That's why everybody's fucking selfish. That's why everybody doesn't give a fuck about no one else. I mean, that's why everybody wants to throw everyone else to the damn dogs, is because nobody puts themselves in anybody else's shoes anymore. And that makes me sad. You know, that makes me sad to know the fact that my children are going to grow up in this type of society. My children are going to grow up with, I mean, my children now are going to grow up knowing that people don't care enough to try to understand your situation, you know. And I know what it feels like to be a single mother, you know, but I don't know what it feels like to be a single mother living in a car with my 2 kids, being homeless, trying to do what I have to do to get a job. I mean, and then what doesn't get me is, I just feel like, to me, I feel like maybe they should have given her another chance instead of just, you know, throwing her out there and all of a sudden wanting to put her in jail and all this stuff. I mean, everybody needs to understand that not everything is black and white. It's not. I mean, I just feel like this woman was trying to do what she had to do. She first of all, she was trying to better their life. She was trying to get a job to make sure that she supported their kids. And then now everybody wants to talk about the fundraiser too. That's another thing. I mean, what do you think? You think fucking life is free? You think that she could just give all that fucking money away? And Dr. Phil asked her a question at the end of the episode, right? The question was, if you could go back and change it to where you can make it to where you're not a felony, or you're not a felon, sorry. If that you're not a felon, and make your charges not a felony and all that shit. If you could go back and change that, would you? And just give them the money, or just give the money for, it's for the children. The money was for the children. And she said no. You know why? You know why she said no? Because, I mean, me personally, I would do the same thing. I would rather be known as a felon or have a felony and taking care of my children, knowing that my children are taken care of. I have that money now to make sure that I can care for my kids, rather than have no money, be in the same situation. And I mean, not just that, but CPS. I mean, what she told Dr. Phil was that even if she didn't have the money, I mean, CPS would have gotten her for that ass. I mean, fuck, are you fucking kidding? CPS will get you for anything. Bam, you're gone. Your kids are gone. You know, that's just it. She don't got money, CPS comes and takes them. I mean, nobody thinks of any of this shit. Like, what do you think, Dr. Phil? Besides, not just that, but Dr. Phil, really, you're gonna ask that question? You will never know what it feels like to be a single mother, first of all. Second of all, you probably would never know what it feels like to be single, period. I mean, you're with Robin, which, oh, I love your marriage. I'm telling you, I mean, I watch y'all all the time. Y'all are beautiful, okay? But you, Dr. Phil, would never know what it feels like to be in that situation. You know, because I bet you really probably didn't have to work too hard. I mean, I don't know, but to me, it just looks like you were a boy that was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. I'm sorry, just saying, the way you act, the way you come off. I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry. Not trying to be mean, just my opinion, all right? But I just don't like how everybody wants to go up judging this poor woman about her decisions and all this. You know, people do what they got to do, you know, especially mothers. Because mothers, I'm sorry, we down in the nitty gritty. We'll do whatever the hell we have to do to make sure our kids are taken care of and happy and healthy. I mean, shit, you know, this, not just that, but this woman was bettering her life. You would think that a judge would take a look at that and be like, you know what? You know, let's give her a chance, you know. And then this fundraiser was for her. It was for her to be able to take care of her kids. This fundraiser, this money was for her to be able to come up and better herself, to better her kids' lives and all this. So people are now talking about that, you know, not just that, but Dr. Phil talks about that, you know, since she was in that situation, the money should have been handled by the government, is what Dr. Phil pretty much said, since she put her kids in that situation. All right. Well, first of all, the like the money that you fund for somebody else, that's not government money, period. And I don't know. I know that she put her kids in that situation, which is a really fucked up situation. Don't lock your kids in a hot car. I'm saying it again. But I mean, nobody knows. Like, nobody understands what you have to do, what you would do to make sure that you try to make a better life for your kids. And that's what she was trying to do. She was trying to get that job. She was getting in there. She was trying to get that interview. You know, she was doing what she had to do. You know, I mean, nobody looks at everything. It's not just black and white. You know, it's not just one thing or another. It all rotates. It spitballs. That's pretty much what it is. You know, I mean, she doesn't have money to have anybody take care of her kids. It's not like she could have taken her kids into that interview. And the fact that she don't got money, if she don't have money to take care of her kids, CPS is right back in there. That's what she told Dr. Phil too, is that she was like, oh, well, when Dr. Phil asked that question, would you rather not have the felony and have given them the money for the I'm sorry, it was for her children, okay? I can't remember exactly what it was for, but I know what it's for. It was like a trust fund. Would you have, you know, done the trust fund and given the money and not have that, you know, felony, or would you still do it the same? And she said that she still do it the same. And I'm sorry, I would too. I would too. Only because the fact that I would rather know that my kids, well, not just that, but she said CPS was involved. So I would rather have the money and be known as a felon or have a felony and know that my kids are taken care of, and CPS can't come back in there into my home and tell me, oh, well, now you can't care for your kids because you don't got money, so let me take your kids. I'd rather have the felony. I'm sorry, I would. I would rather have the felony and know that my kids are taken care of. I'd take it. See, that's just it about a mother, too. A mother, shit, we'll take whatever. If we have to have a felony to make sure that our kids are taken care of, fuck it. That's all I'm saying. But, I mean, that's a stupid question for Dr. Phil to be even asking. Because you don't know. Dr. Phil won't know. Like, for real. And I'm talking for all single mothers. Like, I can't say that I'm a single mother now because, you know, I have my husband. I love my husband. He takes care. I mean, he takes care of me and my kids. He's the best man ever. But I feel for all you single mothers. I know that y'all do what y'all have to do to make sure that y'all kids are taken care of. Because I remember having to do it in my first marriage, okay? I had my 2 kids in my first marriage. I did what I had to do to make sure my kids were taken care of. You know, so it's like, I mean, you don't know. That's what gets me mad, is everyone wants to talk shit. If you're a single mother and someone wants to talk shit, that's what's fucked up about it. You don't know. And it just gets me mad. I mean, I'm pretty sure any single mother would rather have the felony, knowing that their kids are taken care of and they have the money to be able to take care of the kids so CPS don't come sniffing around again, rather than getting rid of all the money and having your kids, but you can't take care of them, so they're taken away anyways from CPS. Do you see what I'm saying? And I feel for this one. I feel for you so much. I'm sorry, I forgot your name again. I think it was Shanesha or something like that. I feel for you. I'm there with you. I am there with you 100%. If I would have known about the fundraiser, I would have donated myself. I would have been involved because I 100% believe in you, girl. I do. I believe in you. I mean, because no one understands. You know, no one understands until they're in your situation. So I know, okay? I had to say something. I don't know. Sometimes Dr. Phil just irks me the wrong way. I mean, I love him and I love his wife, but sometimes, man, I mean, that good old boy seems like, you know, he really can be judgy sometimes, you know, because he doesn't know, and he won't ever know what it feels like to be in her situation. So, you know, he's going to automatically say, oh, well, you should have put your kids in harm's way, which is right. You don't lock your kids in a hot car, you know, But I mean, what if she would have gotten the job? You know, what if she, you know, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, there are so many things that just circle this whole situation that people don't look at, you know. It just gets me. I just had to say something, but love you guys.